So welcome to today's episode of Talk and Roll with HawKNLoaD and the Captain. Today we are bringing all the way from overseas, over in Britain, the fires below. Gentlemen, tell us about yourselves.
Hey. Hello, thanks for having us. So I'm Smithy. I play guitar and do vocals.
Derek on drums.
Simon playing the bass.
And Sam plays guitar.
So,
thanks for having us, guys.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for coming on, man. This is second show already, guys. Friendly. Where are you guys from in England?
Pretty much all of us are London based or just outside London. That's where we are now. So pretty much. I don't think you know where Watford is. Probably never heard of it. Basically London. No one lives in the center. It's too expensive, so you're all kind of the outside of it.
Yeah, all North London basically, or just outside.
The UK always blows my mind because it's so small, compared to the States. But the dramatic difference in the way people talk and the culture and the way everything is, you guys are basically in New York City. It's I would imagine it's very similar to New York City over there in London.
Yeah, you got all sorts of
all sorts of people cultures, down here,
Yeah, very multicultural London is
around here.
But
yeah. I mean, were you guys the children of the new wave of British heavy metal?
Got to be, right? Saxon, Diamond Head,
I'm actually the oldest here,
or even just Motorhead and Maiden.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the oldest. I was into metal a bit before all the new metal stuff started and everything. But I was into that though when it started. Yeah, as well. Anyway,
cool. Before we get, can we get your ages just so we can?
Oh, what? You didn't tell us that. Shit, can we lie? I've just turned 40.
Yeah, I'm 43.
So
38.
I don't know how old you are.
Well, I'm going to disappoint Dale because Dale's the oldest, but I'm actually older than Dale. I'm 44.
Wow. I didn't even know that. So,
I'll be like 33 next. You and Paul, it's all about the same.
Yeah.
You guys are prime for the demographic too, so I wouldn't worry about it.
49, just turned 49, getting 50 next year.
Yeah.
So, what were you guys? When did you guys get together as a band?
Yeah, so we're very new. I mean, 40 is a good age to start a new band. I think it's an early midlife crisis, and we've all done bands before. So Del and I were in a band called Monster Fight a while ago, but we haven't played for a long time. And then you guys were in another.
Simon and I were in a band as well.
Yeah, they were in a different band. So we all kind of knew each other from before, but hadn't played for a long time. I guess 3 or 4 years, or maybe I don't know, a long time. And then I think the familiar story, COVID happened, lockdown. I think that sort of spawned quite a lot of new bands because everyone's all of a sudden got a lot of free time on their hands. And it was around that time
the kids last week had the same story.
Exactly. Yeah, I've spoken to a lot of other bands with the same thing. You're like, oh, I really miss doing music, and I've got all this free time, so let's write some songs. And then I messaged Del, and he was like, oh, I was thinking of messaging you. Let's get in a rehearsal space as soon as we can. And then put out a message looking for another guitarist, and that's how we found Sam. And your previous band?
Yeah, I was looking for a new project after COVID. Same story.
So it all kind of worked out really. And as soon as we were allowed to go back to normal and practice room, we did. And it all worked out really. So it's a familiar story.
Now, did you guys work on stuff separately, or did you just wait till you could all come together? I'm doing guitar parts, doing drum parts.
Well, you had some tracks you'd sort of written to start with.
Before I even messaged Del, I was I got about 10 or so things together. I was like, I thought, best to go into practice room with something, even if we don't end up using those tracks. You've got something to work on.
We used 5 or 6 of those, didn't we? I think
in the end, we end up using 5 or 6.
And then since then, we've just been writing stuff. out of riffs that you guys have got
Yeah.
recorded and
It's
see what fits
David
together.
riffs. He makes
We'd
them
send in
good.
each other riffs and things back and forth, and then either putting things on the shelf, saying let's come back to that, or so we're constantly doing that. We were doing that during COVID, and we've sort of carried that on. Really, it kind of works for us.
Right. Cool.
So you guys are pretty seasoned then. Like you've been playing for a while. Like when did you? Well, I've been playing the guitar for a good 15 years also, but like, well, it's okay because that's the setup. Is I asked the kids last week what band they were trying to be when they got together, but like I don't think that would fit because you guys have been in bands before. So what? When you guys, when you first started getting into bands, what band were you trying to be? Because that's how everybody starts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember I don't even remember what kind of stuff we used to do.
Think
The first
about
couple of bands
cassettes.
I was in when we were teenagers, with other mates of mine from school and that. But I mean, we used to listen to a lot of Metallica and Megadeth and that sort of thing. So like, we were pretty thrashy to start with. And then
That's the only right answer.
It's always Metallica. It's always Metallica.
It's always Metallica.
Certain age is Metallica. Before that, it's Iron Maiden. Yeah.
One of those kids last week were like 19. They were
Yeah.
babies, dude. I get it. Metallica is multi-generational.
then actually we got a lot got into grunge and stuff like that. Grungy metal, and then more sludgy stuff, and that was sort of that way I went for them from there, really, in terms of sort of stuff we were trying to emulate or listen to, and that. For me, anyway. I don't know about you guys.
Really, days I was more like Rage Against the Machine, even Red Hot Chili Peppers. I got like into heavier stuff as the years years go by. Like Miss Sugar stuff, Gent, Sludge, anything stoner.
Yeah, no, it's like Rage Against the Machine is a good one because I remember buying the whammy pedal and being like, "Yeah, this is great," and it's like, "No, I don't need this. You got to grow out of it." But those sort of bands. That was what was going on. Yeah, I was definitely sort of into new metal when I was at school, and that was just there's so many bands I loved. They're still around, really. I mean, I grew up loving Deftones. And I think I did try and do a band at school, but we didn't sound anything like them. But but then that's at school, right? You got to learn. You got to kind of earn your stripes or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I always love asking this question. What was the name of your first band you were in? Because I love some of the this ridiculous things people come up with especially when they were high school or younger.
Oh my god.
I think it might have been the first band I was in might have been called Grudge or something. or Cranium, I can't remember. I don't even remember.
I remember mine was ZZZ, so 3 Z's.
Was it?
Or ZZZ. Nothing to do with ZZ Top. But we got in like a publication here called The Melody Maker, like listings once. It was a big deal back at the time, for us at least as high school kids. But they misread the facts or whatever, and they wrote 222. Or whatever.
Fax machine.
I can't explain what went wrong.
That could be the name of
that
your
moment
first
we were
album.
excited. Spent our 50p on the magazine, and they're like 222.
Actually, I was in a band called Stub with 2 B's. Well, that was probably one of the first bands.
Stub with 2 B's.
Well, there's another band called Stub now. With 2 B's. They're much better than we were.
My
Really?
band was Cry.
We were in Cry Death Match, yeah. That's a bit of a weird name, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the guys I jammed with at school, we called our band Devoid. But then I think there was already another band called that. But yeah. We never played a gig or anything. We did record some really rubbish demos. But that was first, that's like when you're 16 or 17 or something. But yeah.
I remember just like cycling random word generators. It was like metal.
Yeah.
Just put metal in it, and then metal has to be in there, and just for hours, just trying to figure out one that didn't already exist.
Yeah.
It's tough. By the time you get to the mid 2000s, everything's taken. It's all done.
Yeah, it's so hard to find names.
Plus, with the internet, it's not even like in the 80s, you could Phil Anselmo's first band was called Sam Hain or Samhain or however you say it, right? Like before Danzig's host Misfits Sam Hain, right? But back then you could kind of exist like two names on the other side of the country or other side of the world, and it didn't really matter, and you could do your little fucking local circuit. And but now at the internet, everybody's online, so everything is like you can find, okay, I have this name for a band, and then you Google it, and if no, like there's this one guy on YouTube whose name is HawKNLoaD. I have HawKNLoaD everywhere. Okay, that's my name on everything. I don't have to put numbers in anything. But there's this one dude who has like 3 Plants vs Zombies YouTube videos up, and his name is HawKNLoaD, and it's spelled the same way, but like weird looking. And I'm like, I need you to change that because you're fucking with my SEO here. All right.
Yeah. Well, we were really struggling for a while to find anything that wasn't taken on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think choosing a band name is the hardest thing, really, and like finding something that's not taken.
So with a few, we were almost like, if it's just some like random person who's just got a couple of videos on, and they're from like whatever country, nobody follows them. It's like, does it really matter that much? But then at the same time, it's like, it is already taken. I don't know.
It's those little ones that have like 3 videos up that you go and you use the name, and the next thing you know, they're like, "Oh, I've got a lawsuit." How? What?
Well, yeah, dude. You'd be astonished at how many like big band stories have some version of they build a reputation under this name, and then they get noticed by some record company, but then they either have to change their name because it's taken or it's vulgar. Like one of those two. Like a lot of bands have that story.
I always love that people have to have numbers at the end of or something at the end of their name. Then, like
I hate it. I hate doing it.
Yeah, a friend of ours, they had the band called Drain, and then there was the brand from, I want to say, the Netherlands, Drain STH. They had to add STH because there was already a band here in the States that was Drain, and so they had to add that. Just, and they're like, "What does it mean?" Nothing. It's just
nothing.
in a slightly different but similar way, the band I feel most sorry for has got to be ISIS. That they had to everything online now. They have to put ISIS in brackets the band. It's like
the band, not the terrorists.
Just to be clear.
Anthrax kind of went through that too after the mail scares back in the day.
Yeah,
they had to like put out a statement that they weren't going to change their name, and even still, every time I make an Anthrax video, I have to be really careful to not confuse algorithmic robots because they will fuck with me just for saying the word Anthrax. It's wild.
So how'd you guys come up with Fires Below?
That's a good question, which we've been asked before. We've forgotten.
You've forgotten.
We tried everything. We were like picking names out of hats, words, and
and we had a WhatsApp group just dedicated to.
At one point, we just sat in a pub for a while, and we had like loads of just like
random words
on bits of paper, trying over the table. And we're like just trying to put stuff together. And we're like, and then
that didn't work.
And then I think all of the ones we came up with out of that, we didn't even use again. I think it wasn't.
That's basically like an early version of ChatGPT.
Oh yeah. So like my memory, I thought
ChatGPT with the name of
my memory serves me correctly. I think you came up with something close to the Fires Below. You said something like that, and then it came from that conversation, and we were like, Google, it hasn't been taken, fine, we'll have it. And then because by that point,
metal, dude, that's a fucking metal name.
No, cheers.
It sounds like a band, name that a band. Ready?
Yeah, I was surprised it's not.
As soon as you realise it's not taken, we'll have it, grab it. It's just like, great, we don't have to think about it for another 6 months or whatever. It took a long time, to decide, but
there was a few thinking about that were song names from bands we like, but then that's been done a few times before, and I wasn't entirely sure about that either. But anyway, so
So when you guys got the band, is the band that you started with the band you currently have now with Fires?
The members. Yeah. I mean, like I say, we're quite new, so
Yeah, it's only been
we've only
a couple of years or few.
2 years. Yeah, we've released our new EP, our first EP, and before that we had a couple of singles. So yeah, it's all still very new and fresh. So
So
you don't hate each other yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. It'll come.
So what's the touring like over in England? Or do you go down to Europe?
Yeah.
Can you still do that? Just go? Is that a pain in the ass now?
So we've not done any Europe. We've just literally just been staying in the UK. But like I say, that's because we're very new. It's kind of not worth trekking around Europe just yet. Maybe maybe in a year or two. I don't know. We haven't really talked about it. But
got enough.
Plus, we got like jobs and shit.
Jobs.
It's hard to get the time.
I mean, that's something to aspire to. Yeah, definitely, like to go around Europe. But like, it's also important to try and get like a local following first, which we've just started to do.
Yeah, all our gigs so far as this band anyway have been in London, hasn't it?
Yeah, and we haven't even ventured that far, but that's cool. This like London, there's plenty going on. There's a really good scene. Lots of.
I must say there has to be a massive scene in London with a lot of clubs to play. So you burn through a bunch of them before you can even venture out further.
I mean, it's a shame because loads of places have shut down.
There's not as many as
there used to be. There's plenty. There's demand. There's lots of people who want to go to gigs and the type of music we do, definitely. But yeah, I think it's just big gentrification, like modernization of London. Just a lot of these venues have had to close. COVID as well.
Yeah.
It's mostly pubs with rooms or like basements and that kind of thing. Just didn't survive. So
a few are reopening now though. Recently, I saw Boston Music Rooms are doing gigs again now. We haven't played it actually.
Oh, that's cool. There are places, but it feels like there's not as many as there used to be. So yeah, so to get a gig, there's a lot going on. There's lots of, I wouldn't call it competition, but you certainly have to put the effort in to get
saturation.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to kind of stand out too because they want to.
How often are you guys gigging?
So our last one was in August. We just did like a launch party. We actually kind of hosted that ourselves, which was the first time we did that. So it was like we're headlining, we get to choose who supports us. We kind of set everything up and that was actually quite good. That was nicer doing it ourselves rather than relying on a promoter because promoters are good. They are very good, but it was quite nice doing it by yourself because you're like, right, we can play as long as we want. We can start when we want, sound check when we want, and we're a bit more in control of it. So we've only done that the first time. Before that, we were sort of doing half-hour sets every couple of months. I think you can kind of gig too much. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're out there playing every week, people will stop coming because it's like, so it's quite nice to spread.
I've heard it,
yeah.
You get to play when you do play. Do they let you play all your stuff, or is it like do you have to be cover heavy?
Oh no, we haven't done any covers yet or anything.
No, usually
at all.
Okay. We usually only get half an hour in it. Most gigs is half an hour. Which when we did the we did all the tracks we could. All the tracks we got at the last gig.
We did 45 minutes. Yeah. That was good. That was a really good, but yeah,
it's weird seeing the difference between touring in America and touring in England or the UK because here you got to start out really kind of cover heavy and then add your own songs. And I've talked to a couple other bands and they're like, yeah, no, we just play all of our own stuff. We've never played covers. I'm like, how?
Yeah. I think bands that play covers here they're doing it to kind of fill time. It's like maybe they're like, oh, we can't play 45 minutes of our own stuff. We have to like pad it out with a few.
Well, a lot of the club guys and the promoters at the clubs won't put you up if you don't play covers, because they want you engaging the audience in a way like
they want something
that isn't.
If it's something everybody knows they can get into.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, if a band plays too many covers here, it looks kind of lame.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one. But we do have cover bands here, and like they're really good. Like, but then they'll be like, that's all they do, and they're very good at that one thing. So
like tribute bands.
Yeah, tribute bands, but also they might do cover, like a range of different covers, and they'll play in pubs, and you go to that kind of night the same as if you would go to a night listening to a DJ, right? It's a bit different, isn't it? It's kind of like it's a different night out.
Band playing all your favorite songs,
playing all the hits, playing your favorite songs, or like they'll do it with rock and metal as well. But yeah, it's you kind of know what to expect from that. Do you know what I mean? So it's not the same as going to see a band you like. I mean, yeah. And they make good money. Those cover bands, from what I hear, make really good money, more than people playing their own material. So
what are you guys doing for like promotion, online following? How does that look for you?
Well, you handle it. Well, you guys handle it. Online stuff.
I don't want to talk too much. We did get a PR guy who's been really good for us. So we haven't been doing it all ourselves. So we've done all right. Like a lot of radio, sort of local radio. We've done interviews. Sorry about that. And it's nice because those radio stations don't just play us the once. They kind of keep playing us, keep plugging away, talking about what gigs we've got coming up, and it's really nice seeing a really nice kind of. It feels like we're making friends, you know, like a network of people who are just. You know, and it's really nice every time, even if it's some small local radio that doesn't have that many listeners, they still it's still really nice when they sort of like, I don't know, champion you or like shout out and that kind of thing. And then a couple of magazines as well.
Yeah, we submit the EP or tracks to online blogs, Spotify playlisters.
Yeah, so that's really nice. So then and international as well. We seem to be getting a lot of attention from like South America, Central America. They seem to have really good taste. Brazil. They really like it. So that's cool. Scandinavia, I think they've got good taste.
Shout out Brazil.
So aspire to play there one day, maybe. Who knows?
Dude. I get people from like the weirdest places. I would have never guessed would even be exposed to what I'm doing or care at all. Like Argentina, it's like like a lot. There's a way that I'm like, what's going on over there?
Yeah, I just got somebody from Queensland, Australia. I was like, all right.
The Aussies love it. Wow.
Yeah,
those are rednecks, dude.
So I always love to ask a question. Your regular day jobs, they know you have like the band outside. Okay. And what are your regular day jobs?
Well, I don't have to report to anyone. I'm self-employed anyway. I'm a graphic designer, so I don't have to worry about that side of it. That's right.
Yeah, I'm also self-employed. I actually make videos for a living. So like filming, editing, that kind of thing.
That word comes in very handy in what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I edit all the music videos, so that's really like saves a few quid, you know.
Yeah, your stuff is very clean. It looks fucking super pro. I like it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
I work in a school. Actually, I work in a school. Not a teacher, but I work in a school, and yes, a couple of the staff know that I'm in a band, but I'm not really bothered to tell anyone else.
What about the kids?
And some of the kids are.
Couple. I mean, they know I play the bass. You know, they know I play, but it's not really massive news that I'm in a band.
We could come play one
Keep
time.
running.
Play in the playground.
I played in
the gym.
school. We had like some music event in my school. I did play with some of the teachers. That was quite fun. In front of all the kids.
That's cool.
But yeah.
Yeah, I've got a regular office job.
So,
Oh, yeah, move on.
it's funny that the office guy, the office job guy, is the one who's like, I'm really into Rage. I want to play some Rage.
Where did that rage come from?
Yeah, no kidding.
We take your stapler.
I like a cat.
Yeah, that's actually my cat. My wife's cat's, I don't know where the hell it's at now.
You got his and hers cat.
These animals know when we're doing this.
Yes.
And I haven't seen my dog all morning until just then. So
I have to take mine upstairs, or they will
like
not
a
let
truck.
me do the show. So is your family really supportive of you guys doing this? I don't want to say late in life, but you guys aren't.
It's seasoned.
not too
Yes.
like, fuck.
Seasoned
That
gentlemen.
shit can fuck right off. All right, this is a different age. We're all fucking millennials here. All right, you guys. Some of you are on the verge of Gen X, right? We're right on it. All right, we're in that same bracket. You can't really be too old for shit anymore.
No.
You'd be wildly surprised. The only time you only reach too old when you think you're too old, and that's it. And then it's over.
Yeah.
Might as well just like
It's not
It's
me.
fucking
You
awful.
know, it's everybody else that's always like, "Well, aren't you a little old for that?" And I'm like, no.
look.
It's like Rolling
Comic
Stones.
book
Rolling Stones have got a new album coming out. It's like, yeah, why not? Fucking great. Like,
Yeah.
you know, keep going till you die. You know.
Yeah, that takes some encouragement.
What else are they
do
gonna do?
Yeah, there's some of those rock
Yeah.
stars still going, like, in their 70s or whatever.
Mm.
And the
And
band.
some of them
Yeah,
are putting out
dude,
some
and I
best
get-
music.
Testimonials. I get testimonials of people who, like, if I do a video about someone, they'll be like, yeah, I just went to their show last night. I just saw Saxon yesterday and they were amazing. It's like, yeah, they're fucking keep going.
Still smashing it.
So, but this is the one thing I got to ask, because this was brought up by Tom from Slayer. Is one of the reasons why he stopped doing it is because he's got too old. He's not angry anymore, so he can't do angry music.
Oh man.
How does age work into writing music? I should say.
Yeah, I'm getting more angry the older I get. I think more pisses me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom's not fucking upset because he is in Slayer. He's not in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like a grumpy old man thing I've got going on where I sort of more the things are. But you know, people say to me, "Oh, you don't come across as angry like in everyday life." So it's more of kind of I don't know, the music.
That's the idea. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
It's
you
the
get
anger's right in the music, so I don't punch you in the face. So it's like that's where we put it.
Yes.
yeah.
It's like if you see me driving down the road and listening to something really mellow, you need to watch out. When you're listening to metal, you're fine.
But to answer your previous question, yeah, family is really, really supportive, which is great. It really helps, you know, and like get behind you and like, you know, tell their friends about it and all this kind of thing. So yeah, it's really good. Sam's missus made some like fire cookies for us for our last gig, and yeah, they're really good.
Right.
I told everyone on stage that it was there were hallucinogenics in that. They weren't. It was just like ginger or something.
Well, she won't get
That's
paid
awesome.
next time.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. First
First
one's free.
Yeah,
First one's free.
Uh,
So, for people coming into this who have never heard you, what's the best way to describe your music?
I'd say we're somewhere between rock and metal in it, but you know, it's I don't know, it's
Out rock, kind of aggressive, like bit of djent in there, here and there. The stoner rock kind of.
We throw a few genres in here and there, and
Yeah.
I tell you what other people have written about us as being like, yeah, you're somewhere between stoner and punk, and somehow you managed to do both with, you know, sort of like a metal feel. It's so they can't quite put a pin on what we are, which is good. That's a good thing, I reckon.
Yeah.
Oh,
All sorts of
For sure.
influences. Yeah.
Because when you stick out, then people notice you and they like, oh, that's unique. That's different. No, next thing you know, click, click, they're finding your music. So that's how you got to go about it.
That's really nice when that happens. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah,
It's
what you want.
so when you guys were working on stuff post pandemic and getting together and really kind of, did you just get to a point where like, yeah, this is definitely 100% working? Was it right away? Was it like, had you been doing it for a little bit, or was it just something you were like, yep, nope, this is the band now, right off the bat?
We spent the first couple of months. It was just us three because Si broke his hand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we had like a sort of odd sort of 3 months or so where we were just like learning the songs, the three of us, and added bass. That was never the plan, but
It was literally like the day before we were supposed to have our first practice together. I busted my wrist, and I was just like, I was out for months.
That's just bad timing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. There was never a point where we said, I don't know, we didn't really put a deadline on it or anything. You start jamming, you're like, okay, when's the next one? Let's do it again. And then you're like, this is working. So I can't, it's hard to say exactly when.
I'm trying to think how long it was till we played our first gig or recorded anything. It was probably 6 months or a year until we
it took a while for people to come back to going out to gigs and things here. It did, yeah.
Well, yeah, because we were starting during the tail end of COVID anyway, wasn't it? So
so it wasn't like a massive rush to get gigging.
We sort of took our time.
slowly, yeah.
See, here in the States, man, as soon as they were like, you can start going back to bar, everybody's like, I'm going back.
I never got locked down at all. My life didn't change at all. Because I work in a garage by myself, and then I work at home by myself. So like things just kind of stayed the same for me, but it was kind of wild watching everything around me be really weird. Yeah.
Like the
But I was the only one in my company that had to keep working, and I was working like 68 to 80 hour weeks while everyone else was told to stay home for 2 weeks. They got like a free paid 2-week vacation while I was banging out 80-hour weeks. I was salty about it.
Yeah, I bet,
salty about
it. Have you guys been lucky enough to open up for anybody that you've like, been inspired by or anything like that yet?
Not yet.
We'd
love to do it. Yeah, hopefully that sort of stuff will start happening.
Look, those guys are just now starting to get back over there.
Yeah,
like especially like the American staples.
Yeah, for sure.
We've played with some really good bands though. Like, I have to say that always because we haven't played any gigs for a few years on it, and then I was reminded again, like playing gigs again, like the standard is pretty high around London anyway.
Yeah, it'd be nice to play a festival. That's something we haven't done yet. And there's plenty of them going around everywhere in Europe as well. So that would be like, that'd be a good thing. Yeah.
So
festival shows get crazy.
Yeah, I've been trying to get over to Europe for a while, but the wife doesn't fly, so that is the big problem right there.
Boat.
I'll be there in a month. Give me time. I was like, my wife wants me to go on a cruise, and I'm like, I don't want to be trapped in a hotel for a week.
Oh man. Well, I've got a sofa bed. You don't have to go to a hotel if you want to come crash. You're welcome, more than welcome. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I haven't left. I haven't seen half of this country yet. I've never left. I'm very stationary.
So
I would go.
What city?
That would be cool.
He's been to America.
I'm in Pittsburgh. He's in Ohio, so we're in roughly the same area.
Yeah, we're diagonally
in the eastern.
Yeah,
we're on the edge of the Midwest, between the Midwest and the East Coast.
Yeah. I'm lucky. I'm in Ohio, and Ohio gets a lot of bands because we're centrally located. But the only problem is that they love playing Cleveland, and I don't like Cleveland. It's a pain in the ass town. And I've had the horror stories of going to Cleveland for concerts, so I'm just staying away from it now.
Right.
So I gotta ask, touring horror stories. Do you have any good touring horror stories yet?
Oh,
Not yet, really, because we just played in London. So.
but yeah, I think previous bands had well, when we were doing Monster Fight ages ago,
We played that one gig in Tring, wasn't it? Was it in Tring or something?
that was, yeah, I don't know. I remember, oh God, I remember this gig where one of the other bands, because everyone keeps their equipment in the same room, and someone just went mental and just smashed everyone's kit, and that was just not cool.
Oh,
That was a horror story, and I didn't realize something had something had happened to my guitar until I got home,
Oh man.
and then I was like, because I just remember coming in and there was like a keyboard player, and the keys were like all kind of like that, and he was going absolutely mental that someone had trashed his gear. So I just grabbed my stuff and got out of there, and then I got home. I was like, "Oh, my guitar's broken." That's probably the worst thing that's ever happened. But that was previous band. Everything with us so far has been all right.
Yeah, apart from one time where we played a gig and the drummer took my cymbals instead of his and left.
oh,
But that, they had
identical.
they had identical bags, right, with the same like no, nothing else written on it. So that's bound to happen.
It was right. It wasn't a disaster. I was a bit stressed for a minute, but it was right.
Yeah.
Going back.
Go ahead with a Sharpie. You gotta write your name on it now.
Yeah, I was thinking I need to like spray the band logo.
Yeah, you get a logo.
Yeah. That's the coolest part, spraying the band name on all the gear.
There you go.
Yeah, we need some stickers.
Yeah,
And then spraying over it when you break up.
Yeah, I need to get on with more artwork for the band actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Dale designed the logo, and he's done all the album artwork and stuff, so it's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. It's cool as fuck.
That's sweet. And that's got to be super convenient, man. You're working on all the artwork and stuff like that. You're doing all the videos and putting everything together. You guys are working. You can cut out so many middlemen on your projects.
All we need is a sound guy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's important though. If you want to get anywhere now, you have to press for the job you want, online especially.
Yeah, no, it's cool, and
people aren't going to take you seriously if you don't look professional.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of like really good friends help us out with stuff. I know obviously other video people and a photographer. Good friends who are just like, yeah, I'll come do some video and photos for you, and they just look great, and like it's really nice to have like that sort of support from mates and and people chipping in, and it's great.
It's always nice to hear the bands with really good stories and positive stories. I mean, the kids we had on the episode before this, they're telling horror stories about having to leave band members and stuff behind, and you guys are like
ditching really band members and
nobody's pulled a knife on anybody yet.
Well, that comes with the maturity, I think.
It's the difference between
19,
20-year-olds to 30, 40-year-olds.
Actually, somebody did get stabbed outside one of the first gigs I ever played. Actually, at the Fountains Mill in Uxbridge. Yeah, this mini music festival. I think that was a stub. Yeah,
it doesn't happen that often in London. Really, it's not.
Yeah. It's not the States, man. You guys are all like mellow over there. We're violently angry most of the time.
Kind of. They got like roving bands of teenagers with machetes in their pocket over there. I've seen it.
Yeah. I think it is the age. You're right. It's the seasoned thing. We're just like, you probably when you're younger, you've got a bit more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ego and ambition and testosterone, and you're just like, so obviously we've come across some people like that, but
fighting and stabbing just seems really tiring.
Yeah. I don't have the energy for that.
It's a lot of effort.
Don't take this. I don't mean to take this bad or anything like this, but you guys, you have nothing to prove. You're older, so you don't have, you know, you do have regular jobs. You do have everything. You're not out there like, yeah, my band's gonna be the best band. I'm gonna put everything. You know, you're like, yeah, I'm doing my band. Go home to the my regular job and stuff like that. You don't have that stress, so you're not as angry about, you know, because for you it's yeah, I've got a band, I've got a job too, so I'm chill. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah. I think I'm just thinking back to when I was trying to do bands in the past, like at university age and stuff. And yeah, there was a lot of egos and yeah.
Maybe you're more competitive that age as well. If you're 19, you want to do
That's
better than the other
it.
19-year-olds. Whereas
And-
we're like happy to play with another band. Like,
Yeah.
It is kind of like that.
Yeah, you also end up like turning that in on each other, which is, you know, when you're older, it's not worth it.
So
The expenditure, the calorie burning.
I guess to some extent, anyway, you get those stories are probably more common anyway with like bands that, like, you know, end up becoming really famous anyway, and then all the stuff that comes with that is more likely to create like more stress in the band, in it, you know what I mean? So you know, we'll see. What happens.
Yeah, it's not. It's just our hobby that like we put a lot into, as opposed to like a business, which some bands become. You know, so it's just yeah.
the other one I want to ask is your friendship, it came before the bands, or, you know, did you guys go to school together or work together at one point, or how did you guys come together?
Well, me and Simon have known each other for quite a long time now, since, well, what, 15 years ago or something, or whatever, and we only knew each other from playing in bands.
Yeah, a previous band we met, and yeah, but I mean, it's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been, yes.
And then Sam, we've got to know in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it feels like a while. Feels not too long.
Yeah.
It's the curse of age too.
Yeah.
The perception of time is warped. Yeah, everything's like that.
Yeah, it goes by quick, and yeah.
I did that a while back. I was like, yeah, I found out a song lyric relatively recently. And my buddy goes, how relatively recently was it? I went to 20 years ago.
Anything after 2000 feels like it was like last week or whatever.
Oh man, it does. 2000. Anything before 2000 feels like it was 40 years ago. Anything after 2000 feels like it's like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but I want to go down through the four of you. Influences, where you got your influences in music. Whoever wants to start.
Sam?
I guess as a guitar player, I've played in a few different style of bands over time. Like I played like a sort of jazz function band when I was a student. It was quite good for earning a bit of money. Played like parties and stuff. But then when I was sort of learning guitar the first time, I was really into stuff like Nirvana, as I said, Rage Against the Machine, before Soundgarden. And my tastes have probably got heavier over time, like stuff I really enjoy, like Mastodon, Meshuggah I mentioned. So you sort of go more and more down that path. Deftones are big influence as well. So I think over time I've sort of studied and enjoyed playing different genres quite a lot. I used to play in a funk band in my 20s as well, which is
I love that. I love funk.
It was like Earth, Wind and Fire, like cover band basically, but it was awesome. And I think I've always like enjoyed like playing in bands that sort of like groove driven bands, and I still think like we're basically a groove driven band fundamentally, and like funk's obviously groove driven genre. So I think I've always played in a groove driven kind of band, but it's sort of skipped around genres a bit. But the stuff I love now is like, you know, the heavier stuff.
I love that. That's my favorite combination. If you can take like a drum line and in metal, right? And Vinnie Paul from Pantera is really good at this. If you can take that drum line and fit it under a Stevie Wonder song, I fucking love that song. That's how it works. I love like groovy swing. Like there's no swing in anything anymore. Everything's like touched up and put right on the beat, and there's no humanizing in a lot of the stuff I hear now. But, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's
Well, I mean, I came from like my roots in music was like my original likeness was like jungle, because like UK jungle, like drum and bass. That was what like I've really started with, you know, because that was what all my cousins listened to growing up. And obviously I got into like the rap and the hip hop and all that. And I got into rock music quite late actually. And but it was great because when I found it, it was like a whole new world of music. And yeah, just started to get into it. And then, you know, I was liking the guitars and all that stuff. But then when I started to hear the bass lines, I just really kind of fell in love with that. And yeah, started to what I wanted to learn and got into it.
It's evolution. It's all about evolving the music, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on any exact influence, to be honest. I mean, I'm trying to think now. So bands I really like I've always liked is Queens of Stone Age, Foo Fighters. This kind of music really appeals to me. I did grow up listening to all that sort of the new metal bands, Korn and everything. That was when I was a teenager and absolutely loved it. And I'm always amazed when I see teenagers now walking around with like, you know, a Korn t-shirt or something. Like, what? Gosh, like, yeah. But yeah, also, you know, I liked Iron Maiden. I'm trying to think now. I wouldn't say we sound anything like these bands, by the way. You know, I mentioned Death Note, but they can influence you in different ways, you know. Yeah. That's probably me.
Well, I started off music wise. Actually, I started off playing saxophone when I was a kid. I started playing saxophone when I was like 8 or something, and then changed over to playing guitar when I was like started getting into like metal and that when I was around 12, 13, something like that. Maybe, and like I say, it was like Metallica and Megadeth and that sort of thing. Actually, I was lucky enough to go to the first gig I ever went to. Actually, was in '93. Milton Keynes Bowl saw Metallica, Megadeth, The Almighty, and Diamond Head, I think it was.
It's pretty good for a first.
That's pretty damn good for a first show.
It was a pretty epic first gig, yeah.
Love Diamond Head.
And then after that, sort of got more into like grunge, like Nirvana, and I was a massive Soundgarden fan as well. Actually, I was loved Soundgarden and like Foo Fighters and that sort of thing. Then after that, got more into like I got really into like Crowbar for a long time after that, that sort of thing. And like stoner metal and or like desert rock type stuff. Listened to a lot of Caius for a while.
Oh yeah, I should have mentioned Caius.
Sort of thing, yeah. Actually, one of my favorite bands around that actually at the time was Iron Monkey, actually, which are like a British band. Like I don't know if you guys have heard of them at all. Epic, but not around anymore. They only did 2 albums a long time ago. And then kind of like and then all the weird and wonderful stuff that's come since then.
Oh yeah,
in terms of metal,
we had the discussion, and it's been brought up before that with music, the music you love is usually locked in by 14. And I'm finding out there's a lot of it. Yes, you still like that, but your music tastes are not locked in. You know, you've seen you guys, every one of you guys have evolved from something that you started with to where you're at currently. And, you went from jazz fusion to Meshuggah to the, you went from hip hop to metal, and everybody goes through all this stuff. I'm like, man, I think somebody needs to go back and redo that study. The 14 years.
I don't know, man. They were probably watching me. I'm not exploratory at all, and it's like it's a bit of a weakness of mine. But I listen to all the same shit that I listened to when I was a teenager, just on repeat and shuffle. It's all Motorhead, it's all Metallica, and I don't do it on purpose. I just don't bother.
I'm the other way. I'm always getting new music. I get like a new album or 2 a week. So, and I got to find a new band. I got to listen to something different. and or I get stuck.
That's our comic book mentality, bro.
You gotta get that new monthly fix.
It's our comic book shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, actually, it's if we play with another band and you have that like personal connection, or like you see them play live, then it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna start following you, go back for your back catalog, start listening, and check in on them as well, and then I sort of almost invested in them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
I want to make sure see how they're doing. Oh, cool, they're playing this, they're doing that. It's like a bit of a community. So yeah, I find myself listening to a lot of recently, new bands who are just like us, local and that kind of thing. And it's nice. And everyone's sort of supporting each other and stuff. And that's really cool.
Yeah. I did that during lockdown. I was stuck at my shop, and I would go in for a couple hours every day, straighten up, but I'd always put YouTube and let it just shuffle through. And I was like, oh man, I like this song. So I'd always just write it down real quick and then go back and look for it. And it would suck because like, oh, that band's still, they're touring in Europe. Okay, they're never going to be around here. And then it's like, that band's already broke up. Oh, shit. Okay. So it's sad, but no.
There are a lot of those.
Yeah. You guys are really, I mean, for having so many different influences, your sounds come together really well. It's not like I've seen bands that, okay, you have the guy who was a funk bass player, you had a guy who was a jazz fusion guitar player, something like that, and then they come together and it almost sounds like they're playing different songs. But your guys is cohesive. It comes together very well for your guys' backgrounds. It's awesome. So,
cheers, yeah.
Thank you.
What's your? I asked this too. What's your 5-year plan? Where do you want to see the band in 5 years?
Good question. I think I've never thought that far ahead.
We're trying to work out next month's plan.
Yeah,
next month.
I think
5 years.
We were just talking about we want to try and record an actual album potentially next thing is the next thing to do. So at least have recorded an album within 5 years. And I don't know.
I mean, like, what can you do? You can do a lot in 5 years.
Some sort of tour would be nice if we.
Maybe we'll come. Maybe
Nice to play in another city.
in 5 years, maybe we'll come see you guys. I don't know. Like by that point, we'll save a few pounds. I don't know.
Thinking more like in next year, we'd like to place, more gigs, good gigs, better gigs, like support some good touring bands, that kind of do more recording, see how far we get.
Yeah, dude. Everybody's, like I said, everybody's starting to come back over. All the big American acts are doing their American tours to make up for lockdown, and they're headed over to Europe now.
Yeah, we're free.
Well, that's what's crazy now is we're getting a lot of European bands over here that I never thought I would see. I got to see Merciful Fate last year. I was like, I never thought I'd see Merciful Fate. So.
Yeah, I guess it's just to see what opportunities arise. You know what I mean? Who knows? You have no idea what's coming, which is great. It's exciting.
Well, what's really nice in this day and age is that you don't have to have a record deal. You guys can legit go out there and do it all on your own, and then you don't have to share that with your 4 guys right there. You don't have to share that with management. You don't have to share that with a record producer. If you're producing your own stuff. But yeah, you don't have to worry about dealing with a record company taking all your cash. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, and if you're good at it, then they will try. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we enjoy just doing it like that for now, and yeah, like that's what a lot of bands do nowadays, I think. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought of this question the other day, and I forgot to ask the first band. You guys have merchandise, correct? Do you have any?
We got some t-shirts.
We got t-shirts.
Do you think
we can send some to you guys?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We'll sort you guys out.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I wear shirts on all my shows. Do you have a favorite piece of merchandise that you guys have put out?
That's all we've got.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah,
got, we got one
I'm looking
t-shirt.
at it now.
Yeah,
It's
what
a cool
shirt is your
but
favorite shirt?
That's all that's
We
here.
got one t-shirt.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally just a shirt with the logo on it. So
Yeah.
that's
We need
it.
some stickers.
I mean, did the
Yeah.
cookies we made for last?
Yeah, what's
How
it?
cookies popular?
If you don't actually sell them, they don't count. As
Yeah.
actually.
We need some more merch, really. Maybe some hats, or I don't know. What else is there?
Stickers. We need stickers.
Stickers is
Yeah,
merch.
I need to.
There's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, you can get
I wear these. I
Lunchbox.
love hoodies. Yeah.
Hoodies, yeah. That'd be good.
Merch is tough though. I don't know what he's saying. Merch is hard. Merch is very difficult. You have to have like, let's work on the audience first. So you have to have an audience to sell the merch too. That's where we're at.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. I got people who want merch, and I'm like, I don't know what to make. I have my guy,
I
my printer.
make t-shirts for myself, and then that's it. Like I can't afford to like front load like 1,000 t-shirts. No one's gonna buy.
Yeah, it's better to have the.
Merch is rough.
It's better to have the demand and no merch than the merch and no demand, isn't it? Yeah.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's one of them ones. So we've asked, do you have anything coming up soon? Any show dates that or anything coming up? Or are you guys just in hiatus right now?
Oh, we haven't got anything booked.
That
Are you
is-
gonna support the EP with any
Yeah.
gigging?
Yeah, so what we did was we did a launch party the night of the EP launch, which was, it came out 1st of September. So yeah, that was our longest ever set. That was 45 minutes. So that you can watch that.
That's on YouTube.
We filmed the whole thing, and that's on YouTube. So anyone watching this can go and watch that. So that's really cool.
Everything's on thefiresbelow.com. That'll take you everywhere. That'll
Yep.
take you to
Yeah.
everything.
You'll find it there as well. Yeah, absolutely. So we put so much work into that EP release and in building up and, interviews and all this kind of stuff. And now it's out there. It's like, oh, right. Yeah. Like you say, hiatus. Now we need to like work out, okay, so what we're going to do next. And so we literally just, I mean, this is the first time we've met up since that gig.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first time we've met up since that gig, so we're still figuring it out. So I wish I could say, yeah, we've got something coming up, but we haven't decided yet. So, yeah.
Can you tell the audience where they can find you online at?
Yes, thefiresbelow.com. If you go there, and then you'll find all the little links to all the other social media. We're on all of them.
Mhm.
All of
Yeah,
them.
I just swept through all of them.
It's a lot. That is a full-time job as well. Because these guys,
Been doing all of that,
these
yeah.
guys don't care at all.
I'm not really on
I have to.
social media.
I'm doing all the social media.
Social what?
Yeah,
Social-
it is.
That's how seasoned we
We
are.
have to do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you, bro. I'm the same way. I'm a one-man band too.
We're only 2-man band for this show. I'm a 1-man band for my other shows. He's one.
No, not even. For Talk and Roll for this show, I show up. Paul does everything else.
Oh.
I'm just here to talk.
Okay, cool.
That's it. Which was a blessing. Because I got all this other stuff I'm doing. Yeah, we'll just let him do it.
Because I don't sleep. No. All right, but before we go, I gotta ask each one of you, dream band you would love to tour with.
Oh. Actually, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll say Queens of the Stone
Yeah,
Age just because I'm a fanboy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'll be Caius, but the original lineup. That would be a great tour.
Oh yeah, does it have to be an existing band that are still going?
No, I don't know. Whichever.
Yeah, like a dream band.
Dream band from any
Time Machine, yeah.
yeah, Time Machine. You know,
Mine
man.
is 88 Metallica. That's mine.
I'd maybe say early Motorhead or something. Yeah, I don't know.
that would be fun.
Oh, hell
That would be actually really
Yeah.
fun.
That would fry you.
I would
You
love-
wouldn't survive that. I don't
Me, my son and I had this whole conversation about that. How would you like to be in a time machine? Go back to the first Motorhead show
Right,
after Hawkwind, all that stuff like that, and then just look at the audience going, "You're about to be entertained." Just you're not ready for this yet, guys.
I was Motorhead probably the loudest band I've ever seen. Actually, I remember seeing them one time.
Oh yeah, they're
So, I
literally.
think I saw the Brixton Academy. I think it was, and yeah, my ears were ringing for like 2-3 days afterwards. It was pretty,
Mhm.
pretty crazy. Great.
You got one?
I don't know. I would say, like I say, I'm newer to this game than a lot of these guys and stuff, right? But I really like Gojira at the moment. I really like that.
Gojira's awesome.
Obviously, you know, of course, it'd be great to play. Great to play with any band, to be honest. You know?
Yeah, we'll play with anyone. Any band, whatever.
If anybody wants to take us on tour, we'll go.
Yeah,
We're not fussy.
We're available.
We like a bit, man.
And I guess before we go, is it all right if we use some of your music for the outro music for the episode?
Of course.
Yeah, you might get
You got a favorite?
copyright thing.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube will let you use it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
If not, use the live one. That should be all right. If you can use it from one of the videos. But yeah, you can. Yeah, please try. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on here.
No,
It's been a blast.
Thanks so much. Really good. Really cool. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well,
Keep
gentlemen,
us updated with any anything
Let us
you
know
got
when
going
you're-
on, and whatever your next gig is, and if you ever want to come back on, whatever, reach out to us.
and seriously, send us some merch. We'll wear it on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we have some decent, when I've designed,
We got the t-shirts.
A t-shirt. I'll wear a t-shirt. No problem. Yeah. I love wearing little independent band T-shirts to big concerts, because then you get the people like looking at you going, "The hell's that band?" And I'm like,
That's the point.
"That's right."
That's the point,
That could be
dude.
us.
Yes.
No, thank you very much. That's
Thank you
great.
very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank all of you. You're great. You guys are really killing it, and I don't want to sound
Very good
like a
start.
jerk, but point it out. But man, you're kicking it and killing it at a seasoned age. You know, you're not.
He's just trying to bring you down to his level.
I'm old. I'm the oldest one in the room, and that's usually the way it is at almost all concerts now. I have to look around. I'm like, my wife will go, "That guy looks old. He looks older than me. I don't feel bad now. I don't feel bad."
It's because he's going to like synthwave shows.
Yeah, I did go to synthwave.
That's his problem.
I wasn't even remotely the youngest at the last synthwave show I went to. So
Cool. Thanks so much. Yeah, that's really
take
kind.
care, gentlemen, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
We'll be right back.